So at this point, I have cut the lid of my jar. I have cleaned up both lid lines, so under the cap and then on the actual jar itself. And now I'm locating some interior smoothing I need to do at this point. Now my thumb will fit in my jar, and if your thumb will fit, try to smooth areas with your thumb. If your jar has a shape that won't allow your thumb to fit inside, then use a popsicle stick. And basically what I'm addressing right now is, and what I'm smoothing is that inner seam where the two bowls initially met up and formed, a seam or a line. I smooth that away on the outside where I place that coil, but now it's time to take care of that on the interior of the jar. You can use, index finger, middle finger, thumb, whatever works, or a popsicle stick. And at this point, now I'm just going to kind of address something else regarding the lid. This lid or cap can be a little confusing to people sometimes. You might have a family member that removes the cap and then doesn't quite know exactly how the lid fits back on. So to kind of deal with that issue, I recommend you take the chopstick that I provided you, or I may have given you a beauty stick, like a cuticle removing tool in your kit. I can't remember. But if I gave you a chopstick, take the chopstick and stamp 2 dots. So press into the clay and make 2 dots that line up, one on the lid, one on the jar itself, so that people can visually line up the 2 dots and know exactly where that cap or lid should fit. When you're smoothing both lid lines, you might create a situation on accident where the clay is very plastic and soft and will want to stick. And we don't want those two pieces to stick together, the lid and the jar body. We don't want them to stick together because they could dry together that way. And we don't want this to dry out yet. We're not done yet. We're still going to be decorating it. That'll be in the next video. So what I recommend is placing a dry paper towel in between those two areas, just initially, not for too long. You'll have to monitor when you feel you should remove it. And that'll prevent the two separate pieces from wanting to stick together permanently. What's the point of cutting a lid if it's only going to stick to the jar, right? So try this step.